We've been looking at the fears over these last weeks, and I've organized the fears into 6 different categories. Fear, which is about the present moment. Worry and anxiety, which are about the future and needing to plan for the future. They give you the energy you need. Confusion, which helps create a soft focus so that you can deal with, like, take a break from too much input, right? Too many decisions, too many plans, too much blah. Just take a time out. Jealousy and envy, which are the sociological emotions that can help you maintain your contact and your healthy relationship with love and loyalty in terms of jealousy, and with access, recognition, and financial and physical security in the case of envy. Very important emotions. In this final video on the fears, we come to panic and terror. What? These are so important, such incredibly important emotions, because their job is to, I have the language of emotion card for panic and terror. Panic and terror, I call them frozen fire. Their job is to help you survive when serious hazards exist. When I talked about the fears, I talked about they're about the present moment. And they're always kind of checking what's new, what's different, is there any hazard? If there is a hazard, like, your fear would go, oh yeah, I'm not going to trip over that. Oh, that's not a problem. Oh, but it's always looking. So let's say you hear something, a bang in the house. What? Right? Your fear tells you, okay, something's really serious. We need panic to come up. And panic will make one of 3 decisions: fight, flee, freeze. That's it. There's a possible 4th decision that can come into play if you're with someone who is stronger or more capable than you. So there's fight, flee, freeze, and grab onto someone who's stronger than you, right? And this is what kids will do. If you see kids dealing with a very scary situation and they have a trusted adult nearby, they will go and hug the adult. They will hide behind the adult. So there is that 4th thing. But if there's nobody else around, you got the fight, flee, or freeze. Okay? So your panic works in a split second. So much faster than thought, it's ridiculous, right? Most emotions work much faster than thought can. Thought's like this plodding thing. Well, I'm thinking in words. What am I going to do? Blah, blah, blah. Panic has already done something while you're thinking of what words. So panic is an incredibly quick, decisive, immediate emotion that, boom, fight, flee, freeze. And then you survive. It's got a lot of energy in it because you've got 3 choices. If you're fighting, you need a lot of energy, right? If you're fleeing, you got to run faster than whatever it is. And if you're freezing, all that energy is contracted and you become nothing. Your breathing doesn't stop, but it gets very slow. Everything about you still. You present no interest. Let's say with a bear, you can't run. You can't fight. The bear's bigger than you are. And you freeze. And your whole body will tell you, don't move, don't breathe, don't be interesting. Don't be interesting in any way. And the bear will snuffle you and be like, well, this is boring, and leave. So freezing in that situation was the best possible decision, right? But sometimes if you recount this story to people, they'll say, well, why didn't you run? Well, why didn't you climb a tree? Well, why didn't you blah, 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 blah. They don't realize that you've survived and you're there to tell them the story, and they are actually talking to a survivor and asking the survivor why they didn't do something else. Hello. One of the things that happens after panic is you have to shake it off and down-regulate. You have to, whoa, like it's a lot of energy. And you've got to be able to shake it out and tremble and maybe cry. It's intense. But because we don't understand the power of panic and its an incredible, life-saving abilities, we will sometimes stay at that level of activation. And what can happen then is that we are sort of in a panic place most of the time. We may not be able to sleep well. Who could? We may not be able to eat normally. Who could? We might not be able to engage with people or let down our guard because we're riled up. So just not knowing what to do with panic can cause a lot of trouble. And it can cause a panic disorder or post-traumatic stress situations where, you know, a car goes by outside and all of a sudden you're back with the bear, you know, or whatever happened to you. You never really left it because you've never down-regulated. You've never let go. You've never thought, wow, that was an awesome thing I did. Instead, people are like, why didn't you run? Why didn't you climb up a tree? They don't even realize what you did. And you may even be able to start to have like physical symptoms, like this arm is like constantly twisting, or you know, your fist is there's tightness in here, and it can simply be a response to not letting go of that incredible activation, that incredible life-saving, brilliant activation of panic. So a lot of the problems that we get into with panic are because we don't understand it, and we see it as cowardice, I would say. You know that funny game that people play that I wish they wouldn't, where they jump out from behind something to scare you, to see you scream or fight. They put you in panic intentionally because they think it's funny. There should be a special kind of hell for these people, right? But it's like they're playing with your panic response as a way to show you as a coward. And that is kind of the training we get all the time about panic. So very few of us know what to do. We don't say to ourselves, after someone jumps out at us and scares the heck out of us, and we're like, ah! And we run and we scream. We don't say to ourselves, panic, awesome job. The screaming was great. The pushing away was great. You didn't punch anybody, right? You caught it before, you actually went to fight. You went to a little bit of flee. The screaming was good. Now I need to go shake off and tell this person, look, that is not funny, right? That was abusive. That was abusive what you just did. And me and my panic are going to go over here with the gentle people who don't do that kind of thing, right? Maybe that person is acting out their own problems with panic. That's great. You go take them over there, right? But we don't learn to say, you just manipulated my panic response for fun. That is creepy. Dude, it's creepy, right? But instead, we end up feeling this incredible and we know that we've been made fun of. We know that we've been made into a sport. Our bodies and our emotions have been made sport of. And we may feel terrible for the rest of the day, and we may avoid that person, not being able to talk. We may have been embarrassed, socially embarrassed. We may feel shame, right? But we don't know what we just did. We don't know which emotion was engaged and how to work with it. We don't know how to just shake off and say, wow, I choose not to ever have that happen again, right? But it's the same thing when we're in real trouble. Let's say, let's get out of the bear analogy. But let's say a car is, we're driving along, we're in our lane. It's a 2-lane road, and the person starts veering into our lane, and whoa, we pull off, not all the way off the road, but we pull to the side. That person wakes up, and then we get back on the road, right? Our panic pulled us aside, just immediate, and we're safe. We're in an awesome position of now not being dead, right? Not having our car crashed on the side of the road, not having this person be terribly injured, right? We survived. And we don't think of it that way. We're like, that idiot, I swear, blah, blah. To stop there and say, hey, panic, you're awesome. Thank you for saving my life. Now I can go ahead. And you might need to go, whoo, that was a lot. You saved me and you saved that other person. You are the most awesome emotion. And then your other emotions might say, excuse me, what about me? I'm anger, Excuse me, what about jealousy and envy? You're like, okay, yeah. But right now let's talk about panic, right? So we don't understand how to work with panic at all. And so if we don't know that and we veered, we might be a little bit off kilter the rest of the day. We might not even be able to track back to what happened. We might dream about it at night. We might, as we're falling into sleep, all of a sudden we veer. you know? It's like your body has to down-regulate from that intense activation that it takes to save your life. So panic is not just your friend, but it loves you. It wants you to survive no matter what, and it will make the best decision. Fight, flee, freeze, or if this is even a possibility, find someone stronger than you and go grab on that person and hold on to them, right? So panic is, the gifts are sudden energy, fixed attention, absolute stillness. And if you've got a panic situation that keeps going over and over and over again, we call that PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, but I don't know if it's a disorder. If you understand panic, your panic is saying, I'm still activated from this thing that happened when I was 3 or in the war or whenever, and I need you to help me down-regulate from it. So we can take that survival information and upload it and know that if that happens again, we've got some skills, right? But your panic is about saving your life and learning how to do it better and better each time. So if your panic is constantly coming up and everything makes you go to that level of activation that occurred when your life was actually in danger, it's time to get some support, but it's also time to understand that that's panic's job. It's not out of kilter. It's just trying to get you to go back and down-regulate and uptake the information and understand what happened, right? So you become more skilled in the future. Panic wants you to survive. It wants you to be skillful. It wants you to be a survival expert, and that's its job. If you do have difficult times with PTS, I'm not calling it a disorder, post-traumatic stress. I'm not even going to call it stress. Post-traumatic situation, right, with your panic. There's a wonderful modality called somatic experiencing by Peter Levine, and I will put that information below this video. Peter Levine has done a wonderful work in helping people heal from trauma by understanding what the processes are that panic takes you through in order to save your life. Panic is a brilliant, wonderful, necessary, life-giving emotion, and we have not been taught much about it at all. So it ends up being a problem when it isn't a problem. Welcome your panic. Every time you pull off the road, whoa, say, hey panic, nicely done. And let it go, shake it off. Get rid of that activation. You don't need it anymore. You've survived. You're a survival expert. Thank you, panic. Let's keep driving down this road. I know how to veer and not carry myself off the road. I know how to protect myself and other drivers. I'm awesome. Thank you, panic. Welcome your panic. It has a really important job. It will save your life. And then if you know how to down-regulate, you won't have after effects that trouble you. There won't be any post-traumatic stress. It'll just be post-traumatic awareness. I'm a survival expert. Thank you, panic. See you next time.